Your favorite artists. New music discovery. Candid conversations, unfiltered. Loudmouth, little lady, lots of music history. Broadcasting live from New Jersey, it's the Carr Stereo Podcast with Terrie Carr.
He is unboxable and never has been boxable, and that is what has made me a fan since 2020. He meshes everything. He's metal for the metal people, and the metal people think you're a metal artist, which is cool. He's got the hip-hop flavor, and the hip-hop people are like, yeah, he's a hip-hop artist. But he's also got some hard music in it, which is also cool. Storytelling. So I take a little bit of that organic stuff that came out in the 70s with great storytellers. I'm talking about 0936. Welcome to the Carr Stereo Podcast. It is so great to have you on.
Yeah, and sorry, I tried to get here earlier, but I think I was like in Europe when we were trying to schedule, and I was like, whatever the time was, they're like, "Are you good for 2 a.m.?" I was like, maybe we can get back to the States first.
People hit me up with something that's 2 hours difference for me, and I'm like counting it out on my fingers, and then I'm asking them, like, what's that my time? Like, so stop, please.
I just messed up the, I was like, because I was in Arizona and they don't set their clocks back, and then I was in New Mexico, and now I'm in Texas, and I live in Nashville now, which is CST, and then I don't know. There's too much going on.
It's too much.
Yeah, but thank
it's
you
like
for
the Living Color song. You know, what time is it? Like, what are we doing? So, geez, where do I start? Where do I unpack with you? Because I have not had the opportunity to chat with you. I remember becoming familiar with you. Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man had hipped me up to you, right at COVID time. And he's like, you got to check this guy out. He's doing so much cool stuff. So when I hear that somebody's doing cool stuff, and I said to you off Zoom before we got going, you've got balls. But before we talk about having balls, we're going to unpack a little bit with Matt Cullen, the Langhorne, PA kid. And I know what it's like out in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. I started my radio career at a station in that area. So I feel like a real kinship for that area. I was at WPST for a long time. It's less than 70 miles from where I live now. So how does Matt become Zero? I know you had your moment with Pops at a Slipknot show, but how does it sort of kind of all the boxes check off?
Yeah, I just thought I was going to be in Slipknot. And my dad obviously was like, they're all numbered. I didn't know that time. It's like, oh, cool. And then I just took Sid's number unknowingly. I told him that as well. But that's where that came from. And then when I started uploading music when I was like 8 or 9 on the internet, I just put it under just Zero. And then as I got a little older, I was like the most Googleable person as Zero for a little bit, but it just became a little hard for search engine stuff. And especially with like Spotify profiles and Apple Music profiles, music would just get flooded on there all the time. So then I just added the 936, which is the time I was born. And now it's shifted more into a band project. So now it feels more like the Bon Jovi thing, where it's like Bon Jovi is just him, but it's the band,
Your band is amazing. First of all, we're going to talk about them. You're so authentic. You're original. You're a very unique star, and you've become a star in your own right. When I said that you have balls, nobody's ever really been able to tell you what to do. You weren't a guy who came from a place where like, I want to be a radio star. I want to be a radio band. I want to be a radio artist. You did your thing. You hit the reset button for yourself a few times and said, you know what? I think I'm going to be better off going here rather than going here and not having somebody tell you to hit the reset button. Where do you get that sort of feeling that you know your career best and you're going to take control of that?
I think it's honestly like I think it's anything with any career. Like someone does something for long enough and then they know that they either have to pivot or they either have to keep at the track they're on. And I think that's how like every job goes. I think people think it's a little more precious with like music or things like that because it's, I guess, perceived more. So like, oh, I can't let people down or like I can't change what people are expecting. But if you just view it as you're not perceived, I guess, and you do what is best for you, that's all it really is. It's you wouldn't stay doing the job that you're unhappy doing, or you wouldn't stay doing the job that you're, I guess, underpaid or whatever it is. You would pivot or change it or make something different happen.
Some people want to, though. They want to. And you really have to be brave to do that, because I think some people think, I've thought it, look, I'm guilty of that, where I think, if I leave this behind, am I leaving everything that I've built? So I think you've taken some incredibly brave chances. And I think that that's what being an artist is really all about.
I think I think that's fair. But a lot of times too, fans will be mad at bands for changing their sound. Like every band goes through that, where it's kind of hard to even think that your favorite band wouldn't change their sound as time goes on, because nothing is the same for when you started making music till now. You don't even make it for the same reasons anymore. You don't make it for the same people anymore. Fan bases change. And yeah, I don't know. I think music as a whole, or artists as a whole, are just kind of always very worried about, like I said, being perceived. And if you just do it for yourself, I think that's really what the important thing is. And that's what I've always done. That's what I do. We have another album that is like entirely different. So I don't know. I'm excited. It's cool.
Well, you grow every record. Just when I think you're going here, then you take me over here, and I think this last record, I think None of Us Are Getting Out, for me, lyrically, I think is a record that's like off the charts. I mean, lyrically, some of these songs are just beyond. And I think some of the songs too, when I listen, your vocals are like, it's 3 different songs, you're like a multi-vocalist on one song.
I think the truth is, I think I really enjoy a lot of different, music. I think a lot of people like rap music, or a lot of people like rock music, or a lot of people like metal music, or whatever it is. But I don't think a lot of people are fully versed in all of the genres as much as I am. And I think that's just because I listen to music so much. Like my brother gave me a Meek Mill CD that he bought from him when I was 2010 and 9. So like that's the type of rap music I grew up on, was like Meek Mill, Fabulous, things like that. And then also listening to a lot of Slipknot and just every band imaginable. Shinedown was one of my dad's favorite bands. Slipknot was my dad's favorite bands. So it's like I've just been fully versed in, I think, all of the music that I listen to, and I think that's the only thing that's different between me and everybody else, is I just love each genre at its core.
Unboxable. And it's funny because now you're managed by the same people that manage Shinedown, which is so freaking cool.
What's crazy is, and I didn't even know this until maybe a year or two ago, but Bill, my manager who manages Shinedown, as you know, I guess he just heard my song Adrenaline and just sent it to Brent, and Brent was like, put him on the tour, which was like, but I was not managed by them. I didn't know either of them, but those are 2 of like the best people I've ever met in my life. So I'm not surprised now knowing that, but I
think that might have been that might have been the first time I saw you too, was out with Shinedown. And that's what, Brent does that.
One of my first shows ever.
Takes out,
like my 10th
that's
show
crazy. Ever. And you're going out too, and it's funny, you come out and everybody's like, he's Eminem's son and blah, blah, blah. People wanted to put you somewhere, and that didn't happen, of course. And then Shinedown takes you out. Shinedown has always been a band that will take out people that, Jelly Roll. I remember the first time I saw Jelly was on a Shinedown tour.
Yep.
So you had that artist community behind you, and I think your authenticity definitely did it. So I want to talk about a couple of tunes too on the last record that are my favorite. Wow, I think like Underneath has some of the best hooks that I've heard.
Yeah.
Because you're a hook guy. You're also a hook and melody guy, which is crazy.
I like pop music a lot.
Yeah. So talk to me about hook and melody and why they're so important to what you do.
There's so many artists I listen to. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Quinn 92. He's like, to me, is like one of the best melody writers ever. Very unorthodox kind of style of pop music, but he's awesome. I listen to like a lot of super melody driven music, and I love pop music. And I think I don't know, I like hearing melodies, so that's what I'm going to put in the song. I like hearing metal riffs, so that's what I'm going to put in the song. Yeah, I don't know. That's just like the thing I'm best at as well, is just writing. Like I write most songs in about 30 or 40 minutes.
30 or 40 minutes.
I don't do much of the instrumental lifting. Jonathan DeLeese, No Love for the Middle Child, Cody Quistad, those are guys that I work with a lot. They do a lot of the instrumental lifting. I'm very good at giving direction on instrumental stuff. I also know how to produce and like work in a DAW. So I know what I'm talking about, which is very helpful. But I write most of the hooks, melodies, and songs probably structurally front to back in about 30 or 40 minutes.
Wow. And you're a kid. And you get when you're a kid, you get everything in the laptop, and all of a sudden, boom shakalaka, you're a producer too. When did you know? Because I always ask people, when was your musical moment? Or when did you know this is what you wanted to do? When did you know also that the production of things and putting things together, how did your mind work in piecing things together? When did you know that was going to be a passion for you? Because it's not something you do. That has to be a passion. And I think your musical brain has to work in a completely different way.
Yeah, me and my friends, like we like raked leaves for like a week and then bought like an Xbox headset and like a bad computer. And we like started recording music when I was like 8. And then I started watching all these like YouTube rappers, like how they're like, this is how I mix my music. And mix is very loose, obviously. But this is how I mix my vocals and stuff. I started doing that. And then I always recorded myself up until I still record myself a lot of the times, but I recorded all of my music. We would release hundreds of songs a year, and we would just record them at my house on my computer. And I guess the way that you know who Russ is?
Mm-hmm.
He, same thing, like he, produced, mix, masters all of his stuff and records himself. So I met a producer when I was 16, No Love for the Middle Child. And then we would make beats, and then I would record it all, and then I'd engineer it and mix it and send it to him. And then we would just be able to put out hundreds of songs a week, or hundreds of songs a year. So I think that's kind of what drove my need or want to know how to do these kind of things. And then as I got older, I realized that I am not instrumentally as talented as 90% of these producers. So, and it's also nice for me to not have to do the heavy lifting on that stuff, because I really love writing songs. That's like the thing that I love doing. But I'll write a riff here or there. Like there's a few riffs on the last album that I wrote. I produced a lot of the song "Watch Out" on the last album. I produced that one. Yeah, I don't know, just random. But I
think your brain working in that different way in the beginning has made you the artist that you are now. I think you have a different understanding of the crafting of songs. Crafting of songs is different for everyone, and delivering songs too. I think, there are singers, and then there are people who deliver the songs. I think you are definitely a deliverer of the song. Until the Day your voice is so incredible as a part of the storytelling on this song. That song to me is storytelling at its finest. The flow, the video is so beautiful. It's so perfectly matched to the song, the metal sensibility of it. Talk to me a little bit about that song.
That was the first song that I did with Jonathan DeLeese, who's a new producer I've been working with. He's not new, but he's new to me. And we've done about 20 songs in the last 9 months. That was the first one we did. And that was another one that, I don't know, I wrote the whole thing in like 30 or 40 minutes. I went to his place. He was like, this is perfect for you. And then, I took it home. I sped it up. I added some like horns and stuff to the instrumental. And then, and it's awesome. I love that song. I'm very stoked on, I'm very stoked on how one came out.
And I love that you put the dancers in the video too. That it just, everything just aligned for me when I saw the visual. I loved the song when I heard it. And then I thought, oh, who came up with the concept for this video? It's brilliant. It's perfect. It's brilliant. Everything about it, top to bottom.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Eric Easterday, he's like my favorite director. He can do super professional videos and stuff like that, but he also has he's like a hardcore kid. So he has a very like raw, I guess, like a raw lens that he looks at everything through, which I think is the coolest thing about him. Like he can do the highest scale videos, but he is also just super into like getting the kind of authentic thing going on. He shot our video for Chasing Shadows too, and that idea was all him, with like the glass. Beautiful. And the beautiful. It's so cool, and he's just incredible. And I told him, I was like, I kind of want it to look like a 90s video, like on the white wall type of thing, but we need to make it like it's, from today. And he came up with all the glass ideas and everything, and it was just, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I think that you are also becoming even more of a visual artist than you were in the beginning. I think I'm really starting to see pictures with the songs, and then I love when you put these amazing videos. And speaking of hardcore, this last record, definitely a little bit on the harder side. Like I'm really hearing that metal side come out.
Yeah. On the, and with the newer songs too, like Here to Bleed and Until the Day I, and even like the breakdown on the end of Withdrawals and things like that. I think what I've learned is, and I had this idea, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, to restart everything. And I didn't want to scare away any of the people that were already there. So we kind of like gradually led into it. And I don't think I ever intended the music to go this heavy. I've always been a fan of heavy music. Slipknot is my favorite band of all time. And I never intended for the music to go this heavy, but we started playing shows. And then the songs that had the slightest semblance of being the heaviest songs in the set, whatever that was at the time, was like, oh, that's the ones people want to hear. Those are the ones people want to hear. And then so we started making some more songs that kind of went for live. And then obviously me playing shows, when I'm in the studio making songs, I get more connected to the feeling of playing the song live. And that's kind of what I want to create at that point. So it's, I think I've never toured before until 4 years ago. That was my first tour ever. I think you saw me on like my 10th show of all time. So yeah, I'm happy with the growth, where we're at, how the rest of this album sounds. I'm kind of all over the place with it, but it's
phenomenal. I think, like I said, every record, I think, just follows this path of becoming a more refined artist, if you will. What do you have, like 500 million streams or something now? And you're not somebody who's like Mr. Radio guy, who you've had all this radio airplay, like the Shinedowns, like the 3 Days Graces, like a lot of the active rock radio bands. You've done it on your own. You're a DIY guy, for God's sakes.
It's funny because obviously, like, Adrenaline went #1 on radio in 2021 or whatever, but but I've never been like, and it's funny, I think people sometimes view that as like, oh, you should be the biggest artist in the world if you had a #1 song one time 4 years ago or whatever. But realistically, the only way that works is if you do it 25 times. And I'm thankful for the song, and I'm thankful that the song did well, and radio has helped me so much for what it's done. But I'm definitely not the guy that's always in the top 5.
No, you're self-reliant. You're reliant on yourself. You're not thinking about how can you break, radio chart record. That doesn't really seem like it's particularly important to you. And you know what?
Would be awesome.
Working,
but,
so,
Yeah, it would be awesome if every song we release went top 10 on radio. But it's, I know what we are. We don't really fit very well on a lot of things. And it's kind of hard to just squeeze us into.
It's not the driver of your bus. And I think you're better off not having that be the driver of your bus. So you're you're on tour, you're doing all the big festivals now coming in 2026. You're doing, what are you doing? You're doing
our Download Fest, Rock for People.
You're doing Shiprock. You're getting your ass on the boat.
Shiprock.
That's fun.
I love the boat. Yeah.
You love the boat. You do.
Yeah. Download in London, Rock for People in Czech Republic. We have another one. Yeah. We have another one announcing for Europe. And then we have 2 big ones in the States in July. and then Shiprocked as well. So that's
I'm sure there's going to be more. I mean, 2026 is just really starting to line up with all of these shows now.
I hope so. We would love to play some DWP Fest. They're like the best days of all time. Like any of those Danny Wilmer Fests are the most fun things that me and my band agree. Like that's all your friends are there. It's like the most relaxed day. The shows are always
good.
The most fun show. Yeah. So hopefully we get a few of those. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on now. And then obviously we'll have to probably do some headline stuff around the Europe Fest, maybe around the Summer Fest. Hopefully we'll get some support tours between January and May, and stay out on the road.
Stay out on the road, baby.
We like playing shows.
From Langhorne, Pennsylvania to Ginormo Dome Festival. Yeah. I love it. So give me a little taste, a little bit of flavor, if you can, on what we can expect. You said you got songs. We're looking at the new record. We're going to be ready.
Yeah.
Well, give me just a couple little hints.
We have another song coming out in a few weeks that I wrote with Brandon from Atreyu. Me and Brandon write so many songs together.
You guys are simpatico, baby.
He's one of my best friends. We live next door to each other. So it's, if I'm like, hey, I'm going to the studio, he's like, okay, I'm coming with you. I'm like, all right. So,
he's with you, you're best. With them.
Yeah,
like it's perfect.
He's one of the best. Yeah. He's also one of the best songwriters. He's also one of the best vocalists. I don't know if people don't know that, but he is one of the best vocalists I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, incredible songwriter. So I have another one coming out with him. It's more of I don't know. It's weird. And then we have like a pop song on the album. We have a super, like our heaviest, like rap metal song that we're dropping a video for on the day of the release. We've been playing it live and it's awesome. But the new project, I'm calling it a mixtape because there's some rap songs on there and there's some it's not really like one theme all the way through. It's more of like kind of like a put together kind of thing, which was to me the thing that I enjoyed most when I was a kid, like downloading a Lil Wayne mixtape, and it's like he's rapping over a Britney Spears instrumental, he's rapping over Joel Santana instrumental, he's rapping over, so it's like that was kind of my thought. Obviously, these are all original songs, but it's still like that mixtape kind of vibe where there's straight up rap songs on there, there's straight up metal songs on there, metalcore songs on there, and things like that. So
I think if there's any artist that can do a mixtape now,
yeah,
it's you. It's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Oh man, something to so look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm always feeling you. I think what you're doing is incredible. Authenticity, I say it in a lot of conversations with people, cannot be faked. And I think, you've hit the reset button for yourself. You're always making great music. It's interesting, it's authentic, and it's totally you. It's your sound. And I'm super excited to get the opportunity to spend some time and just pick your brain about music. That's what I said. I'm getting 0936. I'm just talking to him about music. I just want to pick his brain on stuff.
Are you coming to the New York show?
Oh, absolutely. I am going to come to the New York show on November 20th.
Awesome. Yeah. You know better than me, but something like that.
I think it's November 20th. Yep. You bet. Cool. You bet. Awesome. I am. And it was great to have you on. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah. Thanks for dealing with my schedule. I've been trying to find a time and it's been brutal, but so thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm grateful for the time, my friend.
Thanks so much.
Don't forget to like this podcast and subscribe to the Carr Stereo page on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Rob Moorhead. TC and I will see you next time.